Hey guys, this is Bella, and I'm gonna be stepping in here for a little story for the road. I'll just be stepping in from time to time for a little story, just for a little bit of background. I do have very vivid dreams, pretty much all my life, and I started documenting them. I would say back in 2018. I started a dream journal. And I'm gonna be reading a dream journal entry from April 27, 2019. So this is gonna be, I would say this is gonna be a much lighter one than the ones that I usually write down, but let's go into it. So it starts with, I had a dream. Okay, and just to also go over it, it's written down, but I'm going to also be going into background details just for you to get the full scope of everything, because as you know, dreams are very personal to your real life, so I'm also going to be going into kind of background details so you can really get the full picture of how it went down. So, it starts with, I had a dream that I went to visit my friend Cindy on her campus like I always do. Usually when I go over there, all we do is party for the whole weekend. So this is very true. One of my friends from college, she went on to a 4-year college at, I'll say it was a culinary school. And I used to love visiting her because she was at this party town, let's call it. And it felt like a vacation to me. So whenever I would go hang out with her, we would always party or really just party, go to parties, get drunk pretty much the whole time that I was there, most likely for a weekend or something. So this is where the dream started. It kind of just started with me visiting her on campus. The campus did look similar to how it looked in real life, and we were kind of planning on going to a party. So it felt very real, just like how a lot of my dreams feel. They feel very real, and it's hard to distinguish whether I'm dreaming or not. And that's where this one started the same way. So started with, went to visit my friend Cindy on campus. We were planning what we're gonna do this weekend, and she was kind of going over different parties that were gonna be going on, and we were looking for stuff to do and parties and stuff, and the plan was to do this boat ride around the city, and then we'd go to either a school party or like one of the bars around the city. So we got to the boat ride, and apparently it's completely free. So the dock is packed, but somehow me and Cindy are one of the first people to get on the first ride. So sorry if I'm stumbling over my words. This is kind of the first time that I've read this. so usually when I document my dreams, I just write it down as soon as I wake up, and then I never look at it again. So if the details are kind of out of whack, it's just because I wrote them just as I was waking up. So pretty much what this is saying is, planning the party, we get to the boat ride, and the dock is packed to capacity, which now, as the more I talk about it, the more I kind of am remembering. And so pretty much it's packed when we get there, but somehow we made it onto the ride anyway. So that's what I was saying. And it's us and a bunch of girls. The boat is kind of like 2 huge open stairs to sit on, basically. No railings or anything. So the view was really nice, but the turns and stuff were really scary. But like fun scary, like a roller coaster, because the driver wasn't turning too hard, so none of us would fall off or anything. This is where it kind of got weird, because it started off, we went to the boat. When I was on the dock with Cindy, and we looked up, it looked like a boat. It looked like maybe like a cruise ship or something. And then we pushed past everyone, and then when we got on the boat, it no longer looked like a boat, and we were sitting at the top, maybe what would you call it, the top deck. And then it looked like it didn't look like a boat. It was like we were sitting on was like a flat stage with two stairways going down the sides, but I also knew that it was a boat, so it was weird. And when you look around, it was me, with Cindy, and some other girls sitting like Indian style on the floor, but it was a boat. And then there was a driver way in the front that was also sitting on the floor, but I knew that it was a boat. And he was driving it, so it was just weird. And then he was making all these crazy turns and stuff, but it was exhilarating because it didn't feel dangerous, but it was like he was driving really fast, and I was like, this is crazy, but it was also fun. So that was just the feeling of the dream. And also dreams just make you feel like, I don't know, it always makes me feel extra emotions on top of what's happening. At least that's how I feel. So that's just why it's really fun. And then it says the boat is cruising the water. Then the next thing I know, it's cruising the street. And Cindy is giving me a fact about this. No, and Cindy is giving me facts about the city and stuff, like a tour guide. So we're cruising the city now, like a tour bus, but still on the boat, and it's completely normal. So we're on the river with this weird boat that is like a staircase, but it's a boat. And then he zooms off, and then he zooms into the city. So now we're driving in the city, and the river is in the city, but it's completely fine. It's completely normal, and it's dream logic. And then Cindy is now giving me like a tour, as if she's like a tour guide or something, but she's not. So that's also why I was like, what is going on? So the river is in the city, and she's like, oh yeah, look over there, that's where I had my first date with this guy, and they built that back in 1999 or whatever crazy stuff. And I'm like, huh? And she's like, oh yeah, that's this bar that I went to with this girl that I just met, blah blah blah. I'm like, how do you know all this? So I was just like entertained, but also like, this is weird. So then we pass an area in the city with bars and stuff, and I'm thinking about what we're gonna do later after seeing like 3 popular bars. So again, we're just cruising the city, completely normal, in a boat, very strange. And I'm just kind of like looking around the city, because again, she lived in she went to school in this party city, so this is completely new sights to me now. And I'm like, ooh, maybe we should come back and go there. Ooh, that's a club right there. Like, maybe we should come back and go there. Like, I'm just like gathering information. And like, usually if I do this, I would be on Google Maps, like hearting places, or on Yelp or something. But in the dream, I'm just like, ooh, yeah. So where are we right now? Ooh, on Main Street. Okay, there's like 3 bars on Main Street. Let me remember. So I'm just like looking around, enjoying the sights. It was a very nice cruise that we were on. And then Cindy starts telling me some stories. And Cindy starts telling me some stories about Barbados or something and her family. But gradually she's getting like more and more quiet, like not speaking as loud as she was before, and she was being a fake tour guide for me. And at some point it's only me and her on the boat now, and the boat driver who we can't see. So this is where things slowly, gradually started getting weird. So imagine you're on a boat, cruising, everything's good, living life. There's a bunch of girls around us. I'm telling you, the boat was packed. And then slowly, it's kind of like in a horror movie, but I'm not gonna say it's like a horror movie. But the atmosphere in a horror movie is like, things go gradual, right? So slowly you look around and it gets more and more quiet, and then you hear creepy music in the back. So that was just the vibe of everything. It was like slowly she was telling me this story, and I was kind of listening, but I wasn't really listening. Something about her family or something. And then she starts like she's like blah 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 and blah 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 and blah 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 blah. So she just starts talking quieter and quieter. I'm like, I wasn't really paying attention to her in the beginning. Then it was just very gradual, and slowly I started to look around and people started disappearing. Not like in front of me, but if I looked one way, there would be people, and then if I looked back, they would be gone. And then if I looked to the left, no people. So it's like they just start to disappear slowly. And she started to like be more quiet in her storytelling until she like stopped talking altogether. And then I was just like, what is going on? And then the driver, before he was sitting at the top of the boat with us, now he had gone to maybe the lower deck, but there was also a driving steering wheel down there. I don't know, but he was driving from the lower deck, so I couldn't see him anymore, and things were just getting weird. And I was like, what's going on? And then and then it says, and she kind of tells me that the boat ride is free because the boat driver chooses one girl per ride to have SCX with. And I won't say it because it's YouTube, but that's what she tells me. So pretty much she says, well, she's like, I don't know. So she starts whispering like, oh, so the boat ride is free because the driver, like, he chooses a girl for each ride to, do stuff with. I'm like, what? So, and she kind of said it like that, but not like in those words. Like she was being nervous to tell me about it or something. So she's being very weird about it. No, she was like, oh yeah, like the boat ride is free because, like he just like picks somebody, to like do stuff with. Very like drawn out, not clear to the point. But because again it's a dream, I always know things from a different sense. I don't know, it's like I just know stuff even though they aren't saying things. I just know. So I knew what she was saying without her really saying it, so that's why I'm able to understand. So yeah, pretty much he chooses a girl to do stuff with for each ride. And remember, girls are disappearing and it's only me and her now. So I'm like, what? And but I wasn't really thinking much about that. Then we went back to cruising the water, and we're both laying down on the boat next to each other, and she's telling me a story, but suddenly she looks down and jumps down. This is where it gets weird, because she jumps down and rolls to sit under my air conditioner in my room to hide. Alright, so this is where things started popping off. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to where it says we were laying down. So again, the boat ride started getting very, very empty. I kept looking around, less people were there. Eventually it was just me and her on this wide open space of like flat top deck of the boat. And then it was just me and her, so we were just like laying down, looking up at the sky, enjoying the boat ride, whatever. I know that she told me about, she kind of hinted to he wanted to do SEX with us to pay for the boat ride, but again, I wasn't really taking her seriously because she wasn't really saying it out loud like that. She was kind of alluding to it but not saying it. And then she was again telling, we were just like talking like regular. So she was yeah, so last time you were here I started dating this guy, and me and him didn't work out because this, that, the other happened. And my roommates that we used to hang out with, we had drama, and they moved out because of this, that. So just like stories that we would normally talk about. I'm telling you, it felt normal, like a real day that we would just have. But eventually she's telling me the story, and she starts like talking lower and lower, like, and like more hesitant, like, oh yeah, and oh, what was I saying? Oh yeah, yeah, so me and this girl, like, yeah, so we stopped talking because and she starts looking around. I'm like, are you okay? And she's like, oh yeah, oh yeah. So you could tell that she was distracted, but she's still talking to me. And then I'm just like not really thinking about it that much because we're just like chilling. And then this is where it got weird, okay? Because remember, this is a dream, this is not normal life. So then she actually, let me go back to what I wrote. She suddenly looks down and jumps down and rolls under my air conditioner in my room to hide. So I have to now detail how my room looked at the time when I wrote this. So my bedroom was my bed was a twin bed, and it was what is that? Not perpendicular. I think perpendicular. So my bed was facing straight, and then there's like a window that was in front of my bed where I was facing it. So say my legs were closest to the window, then my head was farthest from the window, but my body was facing the window. I hope that makes sense. And then my AC was like, it was a huge air conditioner that was like a window unit, and that was right at the bottom of the AC, but there was still space under the AC, just there. And then she rolled down from the boat into my room under the AC. So now the room is now my dream. We've left the boat, and when she did the roll, it switched to my room. I'm like, what the heck? So then I'm just like shook, because I'm like, what the, how do we end up in my room? And I look, and she's like, Cindy, okay, hiding under my air conditioner, like scared to death. And I'm like, what's going on? And she will not talk to me. And then oh shoot, let me go back to what I wrote before I give it away. So sorry, I'm trying to find where I was. She jumps down and rolled down. Okay. And okay, so this is what I wrote. So no more boat. We immediately switched to being in my room, and my view is me laying on my bed. So I'm laying on my bed shook. I'm looking over to the right. Cindy's under my air conditioner hiding. And then so she jumps down and rolls to sit under the AC to hide herself. And just as I'm about to ask her what's going on, the boat driver reaches through my window and is grabbing me. He grabbed one of my legs and was pulling me to him. Bro, okay? Imagine the scenery. So I'm on the boat chilling, we're laying down, we're having a good time. And then she just like, she stops talking and she's like, and then she rolls down, bam, dream switches to my bedroom. I'm laying down stuck in my bed. I look down, Cindy's under the AC, and I'm like trying to process everything. So I'm like, what is going on and why is she so scared? And then I'm like, are you okay? But before I can even say that, okay, the boat driver reaches his arm through my window, my real window, grabs my foot. I'm just like, ah! So I started screaming, and then he's grabbing me and he's like pulling me, trying to pull me through the window. And he grabbed one of my legs and was pulling me, and I realized she jumped down to hide. And this is, I'm reading it again. So it says, I realized she jumped down to hide because she knew one of us had to, in quotation marks, pay for the ride, and she didn't want to do it because we were the only two left. So I'm yelling because I know if he gets me, he'll I don't think I can say this word on YouTube, but I thought he would force himself upon me, let's say that. And so I thought he's gonna do that, so I woke up. Okay, so I'll just go over that again. So now he's pulling me through the window, and immediately I'm like, oh, she sold me out. She sold me out for a free boat ride, bro. So then she's looking shook, but she sees him like grabbing me through the window. I'm like, ah. And then she's just like shaking, and I'm looking at her, and then I'm like, no, because he starts like pulling me through the window. I'm like, no, because I knew what it meant, that if he got me, I was gonna have to pay for that boat ride. Okay. And so I just wake up, and I do have the power to wake up whenever I want, which I do appreciate, because every time I have scary dreams, I just like, I can force myself to wake up. Even though, and this is a side thing, even though this is the secret to scary dreams, if you're having a scary dream, it never ends bad. There's never a dream that can end bad. And usually when I have scary dreams, it always can trigger a lucid dream, because I always remember, okay, this is a bad dream now, but bad dreams never end badly if you stay in them long enough. So every time I think that, is like, oh, I can control my dream, and then I just turn it back the way I want or do whatever I want. So it always triggers a lucid dream. This time though, it was too crazy because I was literally in my room and I didn't know that I was in a dream. I thought this was real life. So it didn't trigger anything other than I need to get out of here. So I forced myself to wake up. And then, okay, and then I'm back to reading now. So it says, and I look out my window really quick and I could have swore I saw him out my window. So I ran to the kitchen and then I came back and nothing was there. So I forced myself to wake up. So he snatched me out the window. I forced myself to wake up. I look. Now I'm actually in real life now. So this is no longer the dream. This is real life. In my bed still. Same scenery. I look. Cindy's not there. I look to the window. I could have swore I saw the boat driver. I swear to God. Or maybe that was just my mind playing tricks on me. But then I just was like, no. So then I ran to the kitchen. And I'm just like, oh my God. And I didn't want to wake everybody up in my house. So I'm like, oh my God, what'd I do? So then I kind of calmed down a little bit. Remember that, okay, this was a dream. It did start out as a dream. This is a little far-fetched for this to be real. It doesn't make any sense. Let's go back to reality. After I kind of calmed down a little bit, I went back to my room, looked around. He wasn't there. So I was like, oh my God. But yeah, so that was one of my most probably weirdest dreams because it started off very relaxed and fun, and then it turned into horror. it was just crazy. So pretty much that's the end of that. But again, this is a little segment where I'm just going to be going over my dream journal entries and explaining how they went down. I have tons of these stories, so it's always fun for me to kind of go back and talk about my dreams because again, they're always very vivid and they always feel like real life. And I actually had one yesterday that turned into a lucid dream, but I don't think that one was long enough to really be a story time. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.